People of Earth, welcome to the show, bringing you news from all over the world that you won't remember next week. It's time for the news. If you came here for updates on Adam 22 and Jason Love, Dave Chappelle rapping after his concert, or Philip Schofield's replacement, I'm just glad I don't have to hear him say shizzle anymore. Skinny dipping neighbors, penis enlargement, petty pooping neighbors, and turning your skin into leather, and penis fish. Really? You've come to the right place. Stories from the Mirror, TMZ, and other dubious websites. Let's get you some weird news on this 25th day of July 2023, which means it is National Wine and Cheese Day. Let's go. Alright, looks like we've got a classic tale of neighborly conflict on our hands. This guy's neighbors kept breaking into his backyard using his swimming pool and hot tub, and even had the audacity to throw a mini party with nudity and underage drinking, not to mention some other things that I can't say on the pod, otherwise they'll get us shut down. We've already said penis twice. This has already been banned. I mean, come on. What kind of entitled nonsense is that? Just because your neighbor has a pool doesn't mean you have the right to use it whenever you feel like it. But what did this guy do? Did he try to reason with his neighbor and come to a peaceful resolution? Of course not. That would be too easy. Instead, he decided to take matters into his own hands and teach them a lesson they wouldn't forget. He started by installing no trespassing signs around his property. They didn't care. So he installed cameras and caught them red-handed swimming and partying in his pool when he wasn't home or was already asleep for the night. I mean, come on, folks. Who does that? So he and his wife decided to set a trap for them. They parked down the road from their house, gave the illusion they weren't home, and waited for their neighbors to fall into their trap. I love it. And boy, did they fall. The daughter, her boyfriend, the son, his girlfriend, and 4 other teen couples came over and started skinny dipping in his pool and hot tub, drinking beer and smoking cigarettes that don't have brown tobacco inside them.
Puff, puff, give. Puff, puff, give.
Don't ban our show, please. We're trying to be good. And then he sprung his trap. He stormed outside, started shouting at them, and his wife turned on the back lights and called the police.
You all probably think I'm a real butthead. Listen, you think I didn't want to drink a bunch of beer and piss in somebody's pool when I was your age? Hell, they used to call me Quick Dick Dean.
If you're gonna be a bunch of entitled brats, at least have the courage to stand up for yourself. I mean, come on. Well, then he threw everything into the pool. Their clothes, their phones, their purses, everything. They freaked out, trying to save their phones and other goods, but it was too late. The police showed up and arrested them for trespassing, possession of a controlled substance, non-brown tobacco, underage drinking, and indecent exposure. Underage, you only have to be 16 in this country. That must mean they were really, really young. If you're gonna break into someone's property and throw a party, at least have the decency to do it properly. And you know what the best part is? The neighbor put a for sale sign outside their house not long after, and he never heard from them again. It's like the old saying goes, revenge is a dish best served on a silver platter with a side of police intervention. Next story. Bride gets revenge by reading out cheating fiancé's incriminating texts at the wedding. We have a 38-year age gap. Trolls say it's wrong, but we're madly in love. Get out of here with that. So I recently came across a news story about an artist who had weight loss surgery and decided to keep a memento of her previous physique, her old skin, and she turned it into leather. Yeah, leather. Katie Taylor lost 6 stone. Oh, I should have done the math for you guys, America. Stone, I believe, is 14 pounds. 14? It's a lot of weight. So she's lost 6 stone after being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and decided to get surgery to remove her loose skin around her stomach. But instead of just throwing it away like a normal person, she decided to keep it. And not only that, she turned it into leather. Now, some people might think this may sound bonkers. Yes, the AI strikes again. Who says bonkers? Why? But to Katie, it's just another day in the life of an artist. She uses materials that challenge what can and can't be done in her art. And she has a bodily aspect to her work. So the idea of turning her old skin into leather fed into her PhD project quite nicely. Katie even had to consult the Human Tissue Act of 2004 to make sure she was allowed to keep her old skin. And after getting the go-ahead from the hospital, she kept her skin in the freezer for 9 months before taking it to be turned into leather. She initially bought a home tanning kit, but eventually decided to reach out to a woman named Teresa Emmerich Camper, who has a PhD in experimental archaeology and over 3 decades of experience in prehistoric skin tanning. Now, Katie isn't sure what she's going to do with her stomach leather yet, but she's thinking about exhibiting it in the future. And she also sent her rendered down stomach fat to a tattoo ink maker and is thinking about getting a tattoo with the ink. I know some of you guys might be finding this strange and disturbing, but you have to appreciate the artistic value of something like this. I mean, come on. Plus, it's a reminder of where she came from and how incredible and resilient the human body is. And who knows, maybe one day we'll all be wearing our old skin as leather jackets. Let's talk about weenus enlargement. Specifically, let's talk about Paul, a man from Texas who decided to try weenus filler after his ex-wife mocked his manhood. So Paul paid $2,500 for an initial consultation about the procedure and left the clinic with a big, squishy, lumpy disaster. Sorry, I don't have any pics for you weirdos out there. I mean, come on, folks. That's not the kind of surprise you want when you're going in for a cosmetic procedure. But he didn't give up hope. He found Fallofill, a non-surgical penile treatment using FDA-approved hyaluronic acid dermal filler. And according to their website, the average male can achieve an increase of 1 to 1.5 inches or more in girth over a series of injections. But let's not forget the cost. The average number of syringes, 20, costs $9,500. And the CEO of Fallofill, usually charges between $6,000 and $12,000 for the treatment. That's a lot of money. I mean, that's a lot of money. But $12,000? I could say so many things right now that I can't say on this pod. But according to their website, the benefits are endless. Less shrinkage when cold.
I was in the pool!
Anxious or due to side effects of medication such as ADHD medication. Seems to be a big business these days. Greater self-confidence in the locker room, bedroom, when dressed, and throughout the day. How do you know this? Increased sexual satisfaction for both the patient and his sexual partner. I mean, come on. It's like the miracle cure for all your confidence issues, right? But before you go running to your nearest clinic, let's remember Paul's experience. He should have done more research on the procedure and the clinic before jumping in with the cash. So do your research, folks. And remember, it's not the size of the boat, it's the motion in the ocean. Next story. Woman outraged over awkward plane layout that forces strangers to sit face to face. I'd rather sit with the luggage in the bottom of the plane. No, thank you. Okay, have you heard about the latest beach trend in Argentina? I can't believe we're back to back on these wiener stories. What is going on? I'm sorry, folks. Apologies. Okay. Have you heard about this latest beach trend in Argentina? It's not sunbathing or surfing. It's the infamous weenus fish. That's right. Thousands of these 10-inch fleshy colored creatures washed the shore near Rio Grande. Was it Rio Grande? Why am I talking? Who cares? And locals are going crazy for them. I mean, who wouldn't want to take a selfie with a giant worm that looks like a, well, you know what. And let me tell you, these things really do look like their nickname. They've got a large shaft and a large head, complete with a hole at the top, which they use to eat algae off the sea floor. I mean, come on. It's like Mother Nature decided to have a little fun and create a creature just for laughs. But let's not forget the science behind it all. These creatures are actually spoonworms, scientifically known as Urechis Unix something Latin. And while they may be much larger than the average human part they're named for, they're still fascinating creatures. They've been around for 300 million years and haven't changed a bit. Each one has a lifespan of around 25 years, which is longer than some celebrities seem to be living these days. So, bad jokes again. Oh my God, we gotta start editing the AI out of the jokes. I'm out of the scripts because their jokes are trash. I'm sorry. Some countries actually sell these creatures for food, including markets in South Korea, China, and Japan. They've said to have a chewy texture and a surprising sweetness. So, if you're feeling adventurous, why not give the weenus fish a try? Just make sure you pair it with a nice vinegar or gochujang based sauce because, yeah. But let's not forget the real reason why these creatures keep washing up on shore. It's a direct effect of changing weather patterns and human activity, of course.
But maybe.
That's what AI thinks anyway. So while it may be funny to see a beach littered with weenus fish, it's also a reminder that we need to take care of our planet and do our best to protect our environment. In the meantime, let's just enjoy the viral photos and videos that are going around social media. I mean, come on. Where else can you go to see a giant worm that looks like a sex toy? Nowhere. My sister named her baby after a bacteria. She's mad at me for laughing. My noisy neighbors won't stop banging doors. It's so insensitive to make me suffer. Alright, these first world problems. Finally, in other petty neighbor news, it looks like we have a classic neighborly dispute on our hands, folks. This guy's neighbor kept letting their dog poop on his lawn and not picking it up. I mean, come on, what kind of person does that? It's 2023. It's not like it turns white and gets hard anymore and crumbles and fertilizes your lawn. Food's different for dogs now. That stuff lasts forever. Like Eddie Murphy said, dogs are great, but their poop is not a decoration for your neighbor's lawn. So what did this guy do? Did he talk to his neighbor and try to come to a peaceful resolution? Nope. Of course not. That would be too easy. Instead, he decided to take matters into his own hands and do the exact same thing. That's right. This guy dropped a deuce right outside his neighbor's front door. Now, some might say this is a bit extreme, but I say it's poetic justice. If your neighbor won't pick up their dog's poop, then why should you have to deal with it? And let's be honest, it's a pretty creative revenge. It's not like he set their house on fire or anything. He just left a little present for them to clean up. And you know what the best part is? It worked. His neighbor stopped leaving dog poop on his lawn. It's amazing what a little bit of poop can do. It's like the ultimate deterrent. So if any of you are having problems with your neighbors, just remember, sometimes the best revenge is a good old-fashioned poop on the doorstep. Now, some of the people on Reddit, I'm not even reading these comments. People on Reddit are a trip, but yeah, check that out. No, thank you. So, But you know what? I'm glad this guy found a solution that works for him. And to all the neighbors out there, let's try to be a little bit more considerate, all right? Knock it off. Because if we're not, we might just find a surprise waiting for us on our front porch. Well, that's enough of that. If you're listening and you want to watch, head over to v3tv.uk. The website has the full episodes. You can also get them on YouTube. Just search at V3TWV. Rumble as well, V3TV UK, just like the website. And if you're watching, you want to check us out on Instagram, bam, The Weird News with a Z. Or V3TV UK, but we don't put the full eps up on that particular, on that one. So, people of Earth, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, we appreciate you, love you all. Subscribe or something, do whatever you want to do so you know when we get the new shows up, and stay human.